Hello everyone, welcome back to Gent Watches. Today we are doing some more ranking of kings. This will be episode 3 of the show. So episode 2, which was the last one we watched, 2 precedes 3. Episode 2 was a good episode. I liked it more than I liked the first episode because it gave us some actual backstory to Kage, and it made us feel for Kage, and it made us feel for the relationship between Kage and Bojji, and that's going to be the crutch of the show. I think that's going to be the main sticking point, is you have to care for those two characters a lot for you to care about anything that's going on. So it definitely helped me connect that love and respect that the show expected me to have with the love and respect I actually do have. So now I am actually excited to watch episode 3. I think after episode 1, I was like, yeah, it's alright. Episode 2, now I'm like, yeah, it's a good show. Now I'm looking forward to seeing what they have, and I'm hoping that it's just going to get better and better. It seems like one of those shows that could. And they're setting up they're putting a lot of little hints, they're setting up a lot of different characters, so it has a lot of potential. And I think, and don't quote me on this, but I think it's just like a 2-core and then done show. Like, I think the entire show fits within this 2-core season. So 25 episodes or whatever it is, and then the show's done? Is that true? I guess I'll find out. So I guess I don't really need to know, but that is also good because I do feel like the concept isn't going to last quite that long. But then again, they are setting up a lot of characters, so I guess we'll see. I'm hoping that just means it's going to be fresh the entire way through, you know? That's what I'm hoping for. But Witter doing a great job with the show so far. It's sold me more than I expected it to, based on the art style and the look of what the show looked to be about. It sold me more than I expected it to. So let's get into episode 3 of Ranking of Kings.
Guess you're stuck here for a while. I'll check up on you tomorrow, all right?
Right, he's injured.
No, she wouldn't.
It's healing magic. It looks like healing magic, but it could also be acid magic. Oh, sorry, hold on. Okay, it is not acid magic, it is indeed healing magic. That is good.
Then you forfeited your opportunity to leave here alive.
Oh no. That is bad, because this guy seems like major trouble. I think he's got Aizawa's voice actor as well. Christopher Weckamp or whatever it is. I go from panic to pure joy at the intro. It seems like the intro is surprisingly devoid of any spoilers, really, from what I've seen at least. Like, the intro seems to just be mostly Bojji and Kage moving through an area. I guess there's teasers of characters, but it's really heavily focused just on Bojji walking.
I shall now read the will of the late king. The successor to the throne is to be Prince Bojji.
Absurd.
Okay, so he just chooses. That's the will of the king? What? What's going on? Whoa! Okay, didn't expect this. It's pointing at Bojji. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? That's the devil pointing at him, so...
Explain this magic mirror.
Oh, it's an actual magic mirror. Okay.
Welcome back. It's all proceeding in full accordance with my plan.
Okay, alright, so Dad has got a magic mirror relationship going on. Wow, is he legit just gonna become it now? Here we go.
Your new king
Bojji.
is Prince Daida.
Excuse me, Mr. Illiterate? That's not what it said.
This cannot stand. I I move to veto the king's will.
Your Majesty!
You can't do that.
Wishes and keep Prince Bojji from the throne?
Do you truly believe Bojji is capable of serving as king?
Not your call.
The will, though.
That will, though.
After what we witnessed on his deathbed, how could we follow his will?
Oh, because the devil appeared.
7 of us shall...
1, 2. Wow, really kicking this deaf mute kid while he's down. I mean, I understand you don't want to trust the entire kingdom to him, but it's the will. It's the will. And to just drop it on him like that on the coronation day or whatever. Oh, at least you're not dead. Oh, no.
Out of my way!
No. Surely that hurts.
All I want to do is help Bojji any way I can.
To help Prince Bojji.
I don't think this guy's on Bojji's side, though. I don't think. Just from his behavior before. But maybe. Oh, do you know this creature? Aye.
Do you know the creature I've drawn here? He said you will never be seeing each other again.
Is he lying?
That is what I came here to tell you.
I think he's lying. Oh my gosh. Just take away his only friend.
Listen, I'm on your side, all right? No matter what happens.
Within my court. Arpis and Sandeo were the ones who voted against me, correct?
How could you know that?
That's corrupt.
Please give me a bit of credit. I want those two disposed of. Dead men tell no tales.
First day on the job.
This idea. What seeds has that magic mirror been planting in his mind?
Oh, you know about the magic mirror. Okay.
Prince Bojji!
I wonder where it came from then. Whoa.
I have never forgotten the debt which I owe you. And yet, even for your sake, I cannot ignore the debt I owe my master.
It's good that Bojji has some people, you know? Like, or some snakes on his side. Even if they're not really friends, per se. Whoa! 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 Just some smooth as hell animation for out of nowhere. Oh my gosh, this is just the most casual fight scene. Oh. Ooh. Pole vaulting champ. I actually don't want this guy to die. I like him. In a weird way. Oh no. I don't think he's dead.
Put it aside for now. What is to be done about brother?
This guy's like Joffrey.
To be done, I don't follow. There will be no such journey. I won't allow it. What do you think you can do under your own power? And thus, you have a duty to the royal family and to Daida.
He should be the king.
In Hylian, we are not to let you leave your chambers.
Ugh, that is a steep drop. What? I thought the rope went all the way down.
I'm coming in now. Have you gone mad?
It goes like a third of the way down. Whoa! Whoa! Oh! He just cracked his head on the side. Healing magic. Aggressive healing magic. Man, can heal concussions, I guess. She's keeping you safe. She does care about you, I think, a lot. Okay, he's adopted? Or she's a...
That was rude.
Or the
Sadly,
king
Prince
remarried?
hasn't opened his heart to anyone since the late queen's passing, so it's to be
Right.
expected.
The king
It's
remarried.
nothing against you.
Of course, it was the...
Prince,
We know
I
Bojji's
brought
mother.
some cake.
I forgot about that. I like the design. Oh, this is why he owes the debt. Bojji's such a caring soul. He's bitten by a snake and then cries because the snake's hurt. Aww. Just using him as a stuffed toy now.
To the young queen lately, hasn't he?
Aww.
Before long, you're going to become a big brother.
I didn't know they had this kind of relationship.
See? You felt it move.
I definitely... This relationship was definitely turned on its head. Hmm.
There's hardly a need. Clearly, this boy is not fit to be a king.
Yeah, sure. She flipped as soon as she had the child. As soon as she had... What's his name? Dida?
One is the swordmaster, Domus.
Yes!
And here is the
Yes!
your name, if you would.
It's Hokuro! Sorry!
Family at their home and offer your respects.
Okay.
Then you promptly return here. What does that mean? If you understand what I'm saying, then respond.
He's happy.
Enough dawdling. Get ready.
That's so sweet.
A sudden sensation as if they're lost to me now. Both Bojji and Dida.
Okay. Okay. Huh. Interesting. I don't know what to think about that. Okay, alright. So, that was episode 3. Now, I've written a few things that jumped out to me about that episode. First and foremost, good episode. It's odd, right? There's a... I don't know how to articulate what I'm feeling right now, right? The episodes have this weird, nonchalant feeling to them that isn't necessarily good or bad. It's just something that I've noticed, where it feels like the dramatic moments aren't underscored by dramatic directing. It feels like the sweet moments aren't like played up as much. It feels like everything's quite subdued, and that is good because it shows confidence in the writing and the story itself, right? It shows confidence that they're like, this speaks for itself. This is an emotional scene. We don't need to bash you over the head with how emotional it is, right? This is a fight scene. We don't need to build up with 5 minutes of the two of them talking to each other like, why are you here? What have you come for me for? And he's like, I'm sorry, you must die, or whatever, you know, like the classic setup for a fight scene, right? Instead, they saw each other and they circled around each other and then they fought for a bit. And then the fight scene was kind of over, right? It was just like 1 minute fight scene that it didn't, like, while it was really well done and the animation clearly took a step up in that time and it was really interesting, it just sort of started and then stopped, right? So really good, because it seems like it has confidence in itself, that it doesn't need to tell the audience how to feel. The audience will feel what they feel at certain moments, right? But then at the same time, it sometimes makes it feel like some of those moments are easy to forget. Like, if everything's on the same level, the important moments don't feel like quite as important yet. Of course, yet. The exception of that being last episode, at the end of the episode when Kage was talking to Bojji, and it was that emotional welling up, and Bojji was crying and stuff. It felt like in that moment, like the voice acting, the music swelling, and the animation of Bojji's face, and like holding on Bojji's crying face, like I feel like that was them heightening that moment, and that was a very important moment. So I think the show is going to do that. I just noticed in this episode there were several times when it was just like things that were happening that were seemingly very important, but they were directed the same way as every other scene. But again, not a criticism necessarily, because I think it's still definitely a very valid way to do those scenes, and again, it shows trust in the material itself. Anyway, that actually wasn't one of the things I wrote down. That just came off the top of my head. At the very end, she said that how she feels like both, is his name Daedra? Man, I wish I had written his name down. I haven't. He's been in every episode, and I've never written his name down. But I'll call him Joffrey. So Joffrey, she feels like she's losing both Joffrey and Bojji, right? Now, she had this sense of foreboding, right? And it's curious to me because this universe clearly has like supernatural stuff going on, or like magical stuff going on. But on top of magical stuff, there's also just odd stuff going on. It feels like it's a mix of different sorts of settings all together. It feels like it's fairy tale settings and like medieval fantasy settings and maybe like some hints of like religious settings. But I'm not exactly sure what the mix is, but there's a mix of several different settings going on in here, which is very interesting because it means I don't know what to expect. In the previous episode, they said something about Bojji having been born under a star that doesn't let him grow, I think is what they said. And in fact, I don't know if this is related at all, but this final picture, I was just staring at this picture of my monitor because it's still on my monitor for the end of the episode. It's just a crown, but it's in constellations of the stars. So maybe the stars do have like an actual effect on this universe, and constellations are important. Either that, or it's just like horoscope nonsense that people believe in, right? It could be either way. Bojji actually might not be able to improve because of how he was born, or maybe there's just a superstition that if you were born under whatever, you can't grow, or both. Maybe that's what they think because that's how it has happened all this time, and Bojji is going to be the exception to that rule. Who knows? But I think because there's so much weird fantasy, supernatural stuff going on, the sense of foreboding that she would have gotten could have been an actual thing that was happening, and that thing might have been like a spell breaking. It feels like there's something going on. Daedra, Joffrey. It feels like Joffrey. I don't know. I guess I don't know. There's something going on. There's some sort of spell that his existence casts on the world. Maybe it's to do with the magic mirror, because the magic mirror seems to be, I'd assume, inspired by like Mirror Mirror on the Wall, but it's definitely like a very evil mirror, and actually in the reflection was straight up showing the reflection of Joffrey in the mirror speaking back to him, and that reflection was the one saying all the ominous stuff. So maybe the mirror is the BBEG of the series. Maybe the mirror is the big bad, where the mirror has some sort of spell and is using Joffrey to get into power, or using Joffrey's power and is corrupting him. But I don't know. I guess there's too few hints for me to go off of yet, but I just think that it's very interesting the way that they're setting it up. I like it. I like the hints. They're not too much, they're not too little. It feels like just the right amount of hints so far. So yeah, I'm very curious about the magic mirror. I'm looking down my notes. That's why I'm looking down here. And the other thing is the mother in general. I like what they did with her character here, because when they introduced her, she was a pretty like one-dimensional evil stepmom type stereotype, right? It's the fairy... No, not the fairy godmother. Is that what it is? The Cinderella... or evil stepsisters or whatever. Like, it was that sort of role that she seemed to be filling in. But now we can see that she is a loving mother or stepmother. She is a loving stepmother. She loves Bojji a lot, cares for Bojji a lot, was very protective of Bojji. And then it was like a switch. As soon as she had Joffrey, suddenly she was different and treated him more harshly. I don't want to say with less love necessarily, but more harshly. Now that harshness could be out of still a motherly protection, like she's being harsh because she wants him to stay out of harm's way. But the fact that it was like a switch, I think they made it clear that it was like a very binary switch. I think. I don't want to get that wrong, but it definitely felt like that to me from the way that the scene was set up. So if it was such a binary switch, then I feel like it's more than just like a motherly, like, I gotta protect you, because I think she would have been like that beforehand, or it would have slowly grown over time and not just like happened when she had another child. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what was going on with the demon that came out of the dead body. That was interesting. That reminded me a bit of like Cuphead. Just the way he was sitting up on the bed and the animation of it, and it was cool. I liked it, and that sort of animation or that sort of style on him kind of has justified the art style to me. I think I'm liking it now. I think I like the art style. It took me until episode 3, but I think I'm on board completely with the art style, because now I feel like it's matching everything that I want it to be. And the fight scenes, I think they look really good in this art style. I think the fight scenes look really good because the art style is so simple that the contrast of like surprisingly smooth animation with the fight scenes, yeah, it's good. I like it. I'm on board. Anyway, that was a very good episode. I had a decent amount to talk about. I'm sure there's 1,000 other things that I could talk about. Like, I didn't mention Kage at all, but there's stuff going on there. But yeah, those are the main things I wanted to mention. So if you enjoyed my ranking of kings discussions, and if you want to join in on the discussions, comments below is where to be. If you actually comment below, I'm gonna read it, and it's gonna be useful, and I'm gonna have more to talk about and more to interact with, and more chance of making more of these videos. So if you enjoy it, please let me know, like the video and subscribe, so that, I mean, these are early days. These are important days for subscribing, so it will make a difference. It will actually make a solid difference. So thank you for joining me for episode 3 of Ranking of Kings, and we will see you next time for episode 4. Goodbye.